Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. Now that's depending where you are in the world. It's our nighttime devotion. It was a good Sabbath, very blessed Sabbath. We're reading from the devotional Conflict and Courage. The title today, No Excuse for Sinning. The scripture reading is taken from Psalms 106, 32 and 33. They angered him at the waters of Meribah, and it went ill with Moses on their account. For they made his spirit bitter, and he spoke words that were rash. Had Moses and Aaron been cherishing self-esteem or indulging a passionate spirit in the face of divine warning and reproof, their guilt would have been far greater. But they were not chargeable with willful or deliberate sin. They had been overcome by a sudden temptation, and their contrition was immediate and heartfelt. The Lord accepted their repentance, though because of the harm their sin might do among the people, he could not remit its punishment. God had forgiven the people greater transgressions, but he could not deal with the sin in the leaders as in those who were led. He had honored Moses above every other man upon the earth. The fact that Moses had enjoyed so great light and knowledge made his sin more grievous. Past faithfulness will not atone for one wrong act. The greater the light and privileges granted to man, the greater is his responsibility, and more aggravated his failure, and the heavier his punishment. Moses was not guilty for a great crime, as men would view the matter. But if God dealt so severely with this sin in his most faithful and honored servant, he will not excuse it in others. All who profess godliness are under the most sacred obligation to guard the spirit and to exercise self-control under the greatest provocation. The burdens placed upon Moses were very great. Few men will ever be so severely tried as he was, yet this was not allowed to excuse his sin. God had made ample provision for his people, and if they rely upon his strength, they will never become the sport of circumstances. The strongest temptation cannot excuse sin. However great the pressure brought to bear upon the soul, transgression is our own act. It's not in the power of earth or hell to compel anyone to do evil. Satan attacks us at our weak points, but we need not be overcome. However severe or unexpected the assault, God has provided help for us, and in his strength we may conquer. No excuse for sinning. So basically, even though the sin wasn't as bad as it had maybe seemed, the fact that Moses was so honored by God, more than any man up to then, just that knocked him down a whole heap. God had to deal with it. He couldn't excuse it. Because Moses was so honored by him, it affected God even the more. The more esteem you put on someone, as soon as they show a crack in their character or personality, it may as well shatter the whole illusion you have of them. And most of the time it is an illusion, but not with Moses and God. Moses was that man, as we said previously, that was so honored, so meek, the meekest man that ever lived, apparently. And yet this time where he lost his cool, God was very disappointed. I just stifled a sneeze. Yeah. The more esteemed, the more honored you are, the harder the fall is, because people expect more from you. And if you, look at that bit there, and if you disappoint them, us, whoever's holding you in that esteem, when you disappoint people, it takes a whole heap to get that respect in their eyes again. And this is kind of what, well, God knows man better than anyone. I think God expected a whole lot better from Moses, though. And this is where Moses showed his human frailties. And don't we just do it all the time? All the time. Have a blessed night.